So it's 2024. You see the multi-billion-dollar tech industry, the startups that started in some random garage turning into a multi-trillion-dollar company. It's time for you to take part in that action. So here you are, learning to code. Whether you are someone that's already started their professional career in a totally different industry or someone that's just now starting, this is the video for you. Hi, I'm Courtney. I'm a teenage software engineer that has worked with big companies like Google to small local companies. I've done things like teaching to coding websites, and I'm here today to teach you the 10 steps for learning how to code and establishing yourself in the tech industry. Now, just because I'm personally a software engineer and I like to code websites, that does not mean that you have to do that as well. Learning to code opens you up to a whole new world of possibilities, whether that is data structures or app design or game design, AI development. Regardless, this is what you need to do to learn how to code for yourself and your future in the tech industry. Number one, define your goals. You need to do some research and recognize what kind of career you go into. This step is kind of necessary for your next few steps later on for learning which languages you want to start off with and where you want to go with them. Research things like project management, software engineering, game design, AI development, cloud computing. These are all different industries within the tech sector that really need different coding languages for what they're going to be doing. Now, I do want to make this clear. Just because you learn one language does not mean you cannot learn another language. They are all fairly similar once you understand the fundamentals. Like everything, there's going to be a learning curve, and I promise there's going to be times where you're not going to want to have to learn to code, or you're not going to want to code, you're not going to want to do anything, but trust me, staying consistent and staying determined and staying disciplined is what's going to actually get you to living out your best dreams in the tech industry. Step number 2, select a programming language. Okay, so you've done your previous research on the different industries in tech. Now it's time for you to go on ahead and select which coding languages you want to learn. Now, if you don't really know what specific area you want to work in, that's totally fine. You are not alone. I want you to understand that. You are not alone. When I started my journey, I didn't really know software engineering was the route I wanted to take. I personally recommend everybody learn front-end languages like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript for making your front-end day-to-day websites. With those skills alone, you can make an easy $5,000 to $10,000 a month by selling websites to local businesses like bakeries or hairdressers. You can make a simple website that is still really complex, but just with those 3 simple languages. Technically, it's actually 1 language and 2 markup languages, and CSS is more of a style sheet, but that doesn't really matter. What does matter is the fact that those 3 are the gateway to front-end development in the first place. Now, if you want to do more data structures and things of that sort, languages like Python or R might be more beneficial for you. If you want to do things more like game design or game development, C#. So now that you've chosen the programming language that you want to personally use for your journey and learning how to code and program, it's time for you to actually learn how to code and program. My personal journey, I started by watching YouTube videos, coding with Mosh, programming with Mosh. It's a great YouTube channel to give you an overview of the fundamentals and the basics of any real massive coding language that beginners should be starting with. Other things like Codecademy, Coursera, Udemy, the Oten Project, all are also great digital resources for actually physically typing out code and things of that sort. I personally want to take another second and just shout out Codecademy. Thank you so much. Y'all were amazing. Y'all taught me how to code. And thanks to you guys, I literally already have a paid internship. Like, what? I'm a teenager. Paid internships. Because of Codecademy. So I'm just saying, at the end of the day, learning how to code with these programs, it's very beneficial for your coding journey. The next step for learning how to code and growing in this environment is making a coding environment. You need to download apps for you to code on. You don't just code on the Notes app on your phone or anything like that. You actually have to make sure you have the proper tools on your laptop or your PC or whatever you're coding on to, complete your code and for it to actually run. Now, I do want to say real quick, because I haven't actually said this already, I personally would never recommend coding on your phone. It's just not very efficient. You totally can, but should you? I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I don't think it's very efficient. But if you don't have access to a laptop or an iPad or anything like that, then go right ahead, build that portfolio, and make some money. It's not that hard succeeding in this industry. And it sounds like terrible saying that, but it's not that hard to do it. Just do it. Some things you might need to download or just write down so you'll have to download them later are things like text editors, or IDE, which stands for Integrated Developer Environment. That's really fancy, but pretty much what everybody uses, the standard free thing that people use, is something called Visual Studio Code. Not Visual Studio Code. It's free. I downloaded it on every single one of my computers, all of my laptops, everything, and that's where I'm able to code simple, basic applications like that. When it comes to backend development, like I said earlier, with Python and R, you may have to download an actual IDE. You can use Visual Studio Code for that, but me personally, I would download an IDE. PyCharm is a really great one that's for free if you're going to be a Python developer. It's an amazing application. I loved it when I was back in my Python days. It was really helpful. So it's different for everybody. Everybody has a different goal in mind. But for the average Joe, I dare say, Visual Studio is the way to go. You're able to customize it, make it look cool and pretty and techy and sciencey with the cool different themes, and you're able to download different apps, and there's a great environment for you guys to communicate with other people. They have TikTok and YouTube, and there's a lot of things for Visual Studio Code that are here to help you. But like I said earlier, when you're using apps, when you're learning with applications like Codecademy and things of that sort, a lot of them have mini text editors built into their website, so you don't actually have to download it until you're actually making your own projects. But yeah, that's something really cool. Now, if you don't have the space to download something on your laptop, like if it's a school issued or if it's a work laptop and you're not able to download things on it, totally understand. There is a place for you guys. Replit.com is a great web-based text editor. It's amazing. I use it for my Python projects back in the day, and honestly, I highly recommend it to any and everybody. It's amazing. It's great for when you're on the go and you're not able to code on the application or on the actual applications. Highly recommend. Obviously, then once you're done learning how to code the basics and you've actually downloaded your web developer IDE or your text editor, or you're using the web-based applications, now it's time for you to actually learn how to use those. So like I said, YouTube videos, the actual websites themselves typically have built-in tutorials on how to use them. Make sure you know how to use your editor. You don't need to know everything about it, but make sure you know how to get done what you're trying to get done. Now, up next, finally, you are done learning the fundamentals. You've done your Codecademy or your Odin projects, and you've done your free code camp, and you downloaded your text editor, or you're using your web-based text editor, and you know how to use it. Now it's time to build your project. Now, here is what I need to warn you about. It's called tutorial HE double hockey sticks. There are online tutorials here to help you. My personal thing that I started making projects with was YouTube. I looked up basic JavaScript projects and I followed along. I mirrored their screen pretty much. I would follow somebody that would explain every line of code to me and why they would do this, and I would do it as well. And then I understood the mindset. You see what I'm saying here? You picking up what I'm putting down? Don't. And I repeat, don't do more than 3 projects with YouTube tutorials. Now let me tell you why. Pretty much, this is where you continuously on and on and on again use tutorials to build your projects. After 3, finish it. You're done. It's time for to move on to the next step, okay? And we're going and we're moving. Next step, build a real project by yourself. I know, it's kind of scary. It's gonna be okay. Doesn't need to be too advanced. It can be tic-tac-toe. It can be Snake. It can be building your own little website for a little portfolio for yourself. Whatever it may be, do it by yourself without outside people teaching you exactly step by step what you're doing. If you need help doing this, I don't know what a div is, I need to look up, Google it. It's okay. W3 Schools. It doesn't matter. Do what you need to do to understand the concepts and keep it rolling. All right, now you've gotten the good little stuff out the way. You made your little website. You made your little tic-tac-toe game. Now it's time to go ahead and get to the real stuff. Start looking at algorithms, data structure, object-oriented programming languages. This is the real stuff where they're actually going to start using this for coding interviews. You can't go from HTML, CSS, JavaScript straight into leak code problems. That's not going to be beneficial for you. You need to learn these concepts to get hired in the actual software engineering industry. It's time to start learning frameworks. Now that you know JavaScript, go ahead and learn React or Angular or Vue or anything of that sort. Once you've gone on and learned these new things, these more advanced skills, it's time for you to go ahead and start communicate and converse with other people. See what they're doing. Learn from the experts. Improve your skills. Discord's a great one. Share your project with others and see what they do and see what other projects other people are doing and get inspiration. Don't be stealing other people's actual real-time projects that they want to turn into billion-dollar industries. But go ahead and try to make a copycat Facebook, make a copycat Netflix. See what you can do. Really use your big dog skills and join the billion-dollar industry. Make some bank. All right. Now, next step, it's time to actually make the portfolio for your LinkedIn, for your networking events. When people say, hey, what have you coded? This is the website you take them to. You send them a website where it has every single one of your projects. That is good. Make a little website, make it cute, show off some good skills of that framework, of that Bootstrap CSS that you learned, of that React that you learned. Show the advanced frameworks that you've learned and demonstrate your skills within the portfolio and in projects within the portfolio. Like I said, don't waste the people's time here. We're trying to show off your best work. Now that you're done with your portfolio, step number 10, keep practicing. This is something that everybody continues to forget. The tech industry is ever growing. We are the fastest growing industry in the world for a reason. There's a reason for it. It's because things are always changing. Things are always growing. Don't stop just because you have a cute little portfolio now with all your little advanced skills. No, it's time for you to keep learning and keep growing. You secured that job? Great. Make sure you know what's coming next so you don't get replaced in the next layoff season, because that's the big thing that's happening in this industry. They're laying off people that don't know what they're talking about. Make sure you know what you're talking about. But hey, you stuck through this far in this video. If you can stick through this far in the video, you can go ahead and make your first steps in your coding journey. All right, I've done my part. Now it is in your hands to begin your coding journey. I have complete and total faith in you guys. Have fun, make a difference, and chase the bag. You're joining a multi-billion-dollar industry. Make some money. Hey, if you enjoyed the video, drop a like, okay? That always helps out the channel, and it helps me reach out to other people that really want to learn how to grow in this industry, especially in modern day. It's cute learning how to grow in this industry in 2019. How do you know to do it now? Yeah, you watch 2024 videos. You want to see more? Click the subscribe button. We can grow in our personal journeys in the tech industry together. Thanks for watching. I'm Courtney, and I'll see you guys next time on Court's Corner.